Jake Paul and Mike Tyson now have been suspended from boxing after controversial fight in Texas.
Mike Tyson and Jake Paul have been banned from boxing for life after outraging fans. Accused of turning the sport into a scripted spectacle, their actions have been deemed the ultimate betrayal. Boxing fans, known for their passion, refuse to tolerate stars profiting millions while tarnishing the sport's authenticity.
The thing was scripted. The whole thing was just a money grab. And for a lot of us that love Mike.
For many fans of Mike, this might not impact Tyson much, he's retired. But for Jake, it's devastating. His career teeters on collapse, and there's little he can do now. This so-called victory came at a cost he wasn't prepared for, and the damage is done. If only he'd considered the consequences earlier.
Tyson versus Jake Paul just got Netflix sued.
Here we stand, watching him scramble to rebuild a shattered reputation. It's a classic tale of crying over spilled milk, but the jug is empty, and no one remains to care about the mess he's made.
Many are upset over the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight, with some people claiming that it was rigged because many people bet a lot of money and they lost a lot of money. Allegedly, there's this script that got leaked showing how the fight was supposed to go down between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul.
The fallout from Tyson and Jake Paul's scripted fight is uglier than Jake's fake victory grin. Major sponsors are cutting ties, with brands that once featured Tyson on energy drinks and Jake on merch now distancing themselves like it's PR poison. The aftermath is career chaos, as endorsements vanish faster than you can say reputation ruin.
The whole thing was scripted. The whole thing was just a money grab. And for a lot of us that love Mike, and despite what he said in that interview with the girl about the legacy, we love him and his legacy, and we didn't like what we saw last.
Boxing commissions are rewriting rules to prevent disasters like this, while pay-per-view platforms rethink giving influencers a stage. Fans demand refunds, slamming Jake and Tyson online. For Jake, it's a career-ending blow. For Tyson, a tarnished legacy marked with an asterisk. This isn't a slap on the wrist, it's a dramatic fallout for both fighters.
The Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight.
Interesting.
Script.
How so? What do you mean by
It's just
script?
weird. It just
Like scripted in what way?
no, I don't know. I actually really like Jake Paul. It just seems so it's odd, bro.
The timing, it's the timing.
I mean,
He
it's
fights
obviously
two-
odd.
No, he fights two no-name.
The boxing community reacted explosively to the news, with fans, analysts, and governing bodies in turmoil. The uproar left Tyson and Paul's careers in ruins, as chaos spread throughout the sport, marking a significant and dramatic fallout.
Jake Paul and Mike Tyson now have been suspended from boxing after controversial fight in Texas.
From the start, Tyson's punches, once feared, lacked power, barely intimidating. Meanwhile, Jake Paul, boxing's self-proclaimed new face, stumbled and flailed comically around the ring, resembling a slapstick routine more than a serious fighter. The mismatch was clear, with neither delivering the intensity or skill expected in a boxing showdown. Fans quickly noticed the exaggerated reactions as Paul hit the canvas from a phantom punch, while Tyson's strikes resembled gentle pats. Every stumble, punch, and grimace appeared staged, making the entire match seem scripted.
Fight like 2 days in a row.
Wasn't the Tyson-Jake fight, wasn't that amazing?
Yeah. It's amazing they got paid so much.
Fans who spent hard-earned money on pay-per-view and tickets felt utterly betrayed. What was promised as a clash between a legend and a rising star devolved into a spectacle unworthy of the hype. The backlash was swift and relentless, with many accusing the event of being a blatant daylight robbery.
At any point, did you start to take your foot off the gas just a little bit because you noticed he was tiring out?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a bit. You know, I wanted to give the fans a show, but I didn't want to hurt someone that didn't need to be hurt.
Die-hard Mike Tyson fans, who once saw him as a pillar of boxing credibility, were devastated. Many struggled to accept that the former heavyweight champion, known for ruling the ring with an iron fist, would participate in something as absurd as a scripted fight. It felt unbelievable to all.
What people expected, you know, Mike's almost 60 years old. He's Mike Tyson, but he's 60 years old. And he knew that Jake Paul couldn't do anything to him. So you knew what you were going to get.
Jake Paul's fan base, already divided between skeptics and loyalists, was further tested by his staged fight. While some had forgiven his previous antics, this time it was the last straw. Social media erupted with memes, insults, and demands for refunds, turning into a battlefield of criticism.
Mike Tyson could have knocked him out there. Jake Paul's chin was wide open.
When boxing officials intervened, their response was swift and dramatic, a lifetime ban for both Tyson and Paul. Neither fighter will ever legally compete in a professional boxing ring again. The decision was harsh, with officials condemning the fight as a disgrace to the sport.
All last night seemed like something that very much tarnished his legacy for a little bit of bread.
In their official statement, the boxing governing bodies emphasized that the issue wasn't just about Tyson and Paul. The scripted fight had damaged the sport's already fragile credibility and threatened its global reputation. They needed to set a strong example, and they certainly succeeded in doing so.
Wasn't even good at the end, and now he's 58, and he's been living the kind of life he's been living. How's he going to have a chance? I'm putting everything on Paul. I'm laying 180. I think it was 180 he was getting. It was 2. I think it went up to minus 220, whatever, but it was minus 180. I'm putting everything on Paul.
Tyson's scandal is devastating, tarnishing his legacy as more than just a boxer but as an icon, a brand, and a legend. What was once a flawless reputation is now clouded with doubt. Fans are left questioning the authenticity of his career, wondering if other matches were also staged. Was this a rare mistake, or part of a larger pattern? Regardless of the truth, the damage is irreparable, and his legacy will never be the same.
Gets in the pocket, goes low and gets in, and he did that and had a clear opening on Jake, and Jake went like this, and Mike just didn't hit him, and that's the video I'm seeing everywhere, but I remember in the moment.
Show me that.
Jake Paul turned controversy into a career, evolving from a YouTube prankster to a professional fighter. His rise was met with skepticism, but he continued to profit from the attention. However, his staged fight has now backfired, causing a major setback in his career.
Friday's big ringside fight could be heading to court. A Florida man has filed a $50 million lawsuit against Netflix claiming breach of contract.
The fallout from this fiasco has ruined his career. Sponsors have dropped him, fans have deserted, and even casual viewers who were once drawn to the spectacle are now turning away. For someone like Paul, whose business depends on public attention, this is a career-ending disaster. Fans are not only angry about the lifetime ban but are also suing, seeking refunds for what they claim was false advertising. Many argue they paid for a genuine fight, not a poorly choreographed performance. The financial repercussions could be severe as legal action intensifies.
Breaking news, streaming giant Netflix is being issued a class action in relation to the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight.
Advertisers and brands that invested millions in the event are furious over the bad publicity, with some seeking to recover their losses. For Tyson, this could mean losing a significant portion of his fortune. For Paul, whose wealth depends on his image, the financial fallout could be devastating.
I think it's more of just like they agreed to.
It's a show fight.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of what they do.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when Mayweather fought Logan. It was like obvious. But yeah, I mean, listen, Mike Tyson's old as fuck, and I think you're right. They decided that. I mean, because I don't think Mike was ever going to hurt Jake.
Just got Netflix sued. People got big problems.
Boxing has long been plagued by rumors of corruption and rigged matches. However, this scripted fight, involving legends like Tyson and high-profile fighters like Paul, has raised those suspicions to new levels. If even they are involved in staging fights, how can fans trust anything in the sport? Boxing governing bodies face pressure to restore faith in the sport, with proposals for stricter rules, increased transparency, and harsher penalties for violations, yet it remains uncertain if these measures will suffice. At the core of this disaster are the fans, the lifeblood of boxing. They buy tickets, watch the fights, and keep the sport alive. Now, they're demanding answers. The outrage goes beyond the scripted fight, it's about what it represents. Fans feel insulted, cheated, and disrespected. When the integrity of a sport is compromised, those who invest in it the most are the ones who suffer.
A 28-year-old kid who, used to be a YouTuber, and he's worked hard to learn boxing. He really has. He's come along, but really, he's still not of that level.